Travis, I love everything about this outfit. Tell me about these chains, man.
All right, so this one was 35K. This one was 75K. This one was $16 on Amazon, whatever it is.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I like it.
Custom painted right hook finishes helmet.
There you go.
Yeah. And then, of course, Verge hooks it up with the TCD official merch.
I love it.
Yeah.
The Crit Daddies represent.
You can get this kit at fleshlight.com.
Hey, what's up, folks? It is race day. So we are going to be doing some road racing today. A race called the Rowena Roubaix. This is a race that has been put on for almost a decade. It used to be called the Gorge Roubaix, but they have resurrected it for some road racing here in the Columbia River Gorge. Look at how gorgeous this is. And it's a road race, so we're gonna lay it out here and see what happens. I mean, look at that. It's an old wagon, because it used to be part of the Oregon Trail, pioneers, you know, all that cool stuff. Anyway, I am not expecting any kind of results today. There's a lot of climbing in this race, and you know, my power to weight ratio isn't quite the same as some of these little guys. So I'm gonna hang on for as long as possible. That might be 6 or 7 miles, and it might be better than that. I don't know, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Today's race will be doing one lap of the Lasso Shapes course. The center line is being very strictly enforced today. The roads around here are narrow.
And we do not want you in that other lane. If you touch or cross that center line at the finish, you will be disqualified.
Okay, did you get that? Don't cross the center line. Apparently don't cross the center line. Oh, look at this shot of Ben Van Der Zandt, and focused and ready for the day. All right, so we're gonna roll with this and see how my race day goes. This was later after our race. The P12s went in the afternoon. I raced in the morning, but you know, cool shot. Not quite continuity, but whatever. Let's see how it goes. This is the start of my race, the master start. This was the 40 plus, 50 plus, and 60 plus fields, but only the 3, 4, 5s, not the 1, 2s. So it wasn't all of the fast guys, so a little bit different here. Started with like a 4-mile flat section that cruised along this beautiful road between the Dalles, Oregon, and Hood River, Oregon. We were doing this little section, and then we hit a 2.5-mile climb up to Rowena Crest. So that was what we're headed for. My plan was to try to stay on this climb as long as I possibly could. Here you go. This is the start of the climb, and it didn't start too crazy, and I'm still hanging with the front group, and that is fantastic. So I'm just gonna try to hang with my teammates and the rest of this field as much as I can. Traditionally, I am not able to hang on a climb that's more than 3 or 4 minutes with some of these light guys, because that's just not my strength. And so I really wasn't sure how long I'd be able to hang here. But you know, we gave it a good effort today. So here we go, giving it a try. We've got Coach Ian Gibson right there in front of me, and another teammate, Gary Cornelius. Both those two guys are in the 60-plus field. I'm in the 50-plus field. And so it was good that I was staying with them on the lower parts of this climb. But I'm hanging on for as long as I can here. Okay, so let's just hang this guy's wheel. Let's just hold on right here. You can do this. All right, I know we're going above your threshold. You can hang on. You can do this. Like, hey. Yep, I popped. That was it. I couldn't quite hang. I couldn't quite stay on the wheel. And so that was what do we call it? That was a 10-minute climb that we did. Unfortunately, I did it in 11 minutes. So not quite my thing. Once I got to the top, one of my other teammates, Tom Counts, I've talked about him before, he caught up to me right at the top, and him and I traded pulls for 5 or 6 miles. I lost him on one of the corners on one of the downhills, and we headed to the little town of Mosier. And at Mosier, we were going to start another climb. And this was mostly rolling downhill towards Mosier, and so I was drilling it to try to catch back on to my teammates, because I wasn't exactly sure where my teammates were. I knew there they are. They're right there. I'm catching them. Okay, I can hold on. So just before the little town of Mosier, I finally was able to catch this group. But we had a little bit of a snafu. Right before we get to Mosier, we take a left-hand turn right here. And Ian and Gary and one of the other guys turned 2 blocks too early. It wasn't really clear unless you had the route up on your head unit. And so they ended up off the back just a little bit. And so me and this is Jason Whittington. So we started this climb together. And then I kind of went to the front. We also had a little bit of difficulty navigating some of these turns. They weren't really that clearly marked, but that's why I race with with the map up. And I have the map up, I have my heart rate, I have my power. So those are the only 3 things I really want to look at while I'm racing, is heart rate, power, and the map. The rest of that stuff I don't care about during the race. So this was the start of a 6-mile climb here. Let's see, this corner wasn't marked very well either. So I'm glad we figured it out. This was the start of a 6-mile climb, and I kind of went to the front and set a bit of a tempo so that both Ian and Tom could catch back onto the group, and then the group of 6 of us rolled up to the top. This is the unique feature in this race, is that the top 3 miles of this climb is gravel. Now it's pretty smooth gravel. It's not too terribly chunky, and so we could all do it on road bikes. Most of us were on 28s on road tires, and this was right near the top, and so we kind of cruised along. So this 3-mile gravel section makes this, that's why they call it the Rowena Roubaix, because you go up to Rowena Crest, and then you go through this 3-mile gravel section, which is kind of cool. The race used to be called the Gorge Roubaix. It was done by a different promoter, but I'm glad it's been resurrected. Top of that climb, there was a screaming downhill descent. This Jason Whittington, he could descend pretty good. Well done, buddy. It's fun to find somebody that can descend fast and kind of hang with them. There was a very sharp corner that goes to the right down here, and you can see I know the sharp corner's coming up, so I'm starting to brake, and this guy on my left, Greg, didn't quite know it was coming, so hence I'm screaming, right turn, right turn, right turn. But we all made it safely through. Maybe Ian touched the yellow line there. I did not, so we cruised along. Greg knew me from the YouTube channel, and he says, maybe this means my butt will make its YouTube debut. So, Greg, your YouTube debut of your butt is right here. Nope, that's not it. That's my teammate's butt. Still my teammate's butt. There's Greg's butt right there on the right. Greg, well done today. You did a great job. So this was the final little push, and then we got to the top of the Rowena Crest, where we had this glorious 3-mile downhill, and I'm just gonna let you enjoy it while I followed Jason Whittington down this descent. He was trying to make a move here. He told me after the race, and trying to drop us, but every time he turned and looked around, we were all right there. So we were all moving pretty fast. There were 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 5 of us here in this group at this point. So These are pretty screaming fast descents. The roads were dry for us. There wasn't any gravel in the corners. The danger is these roads are open, which meant if you drifted, there could be a car like that one right there and that one right there. And so you did not want to drift. Here's a guy taking video right down there. I hope he got some cool shots, but look at this gorgeous descent. It's just fantastic. I loved it here. So this descent was about 3 miles, and then there was 4 miles of flat after the descent, and we didn't have much wind in the morning, but once we got down there, I probably could have made a move on this descent, but I realized that we were probably racing for mid-pack at this point, at least the 50-year-olds. I didn't think there were many other 60-year-olds. We had one 60-year-old teammate up the road, Kurt Critchko, and so we figured that Ian and Gary would be vying for the podium in the 60 field in this race. And so I didn't think it would be beneficial to me, really, to try to drop this group on this descent and put a gap in and then try to solo in for freaking 10th place. And so I thought it'd be better if I stayed with this group. And so I just basically sat on Jason's wheel down this descent so that I could help Ian and Gary try to just get to the end and let them kind of duke it out, which was kind of fun. So yeah, Jason kind of drifted there just a little bit because there were some scary corners, but he did well. Once we got to the bottom, we started rotating. This 4.5 mile section before the finish that was flat, and initially the 5 of us were rotating pretty good, and then eventually nobody wanted to rotate anymore. Greg, who's right in front of me with his butt debut, he was in the 50 field with me, but Jason was in the 40 field. That's Jason on the right. He was in the 40 field, and then Ian and Gary were in the 60 field. So it finally got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't really care if I get 10th or 11th here. If I beat Greg, I'm just gonna kind of lead these guys out. So we swapped poles for about 2 miles of it, and then I ended up doing like the last 5K all by myself and just drilled it right at the front. And then here is the sprint, the last 200 meters to the finish. So I didn't show you me pulling for the last 3 miles, but it was good for me just to kind of set a hard tempo and let these guys sprint it out. And so yes, Ian did win the sprint out of the 6 of us. Way to go, Coach Gibbo. He ended up second in the 60 field behind our teammate Kurt Critchko, who won. Here's
I didn't need that. I just let them have it.
9 ended up 11th.
Rowena was amazing.
Yeah. I was trying to drop you guys right there. Like not even one link off of me. I was like, good job.
All right, I don't usually include this stuff on these videos, but I had a little bit of a debrief with Chris Hannell, who won our race, and some teammates. I thought I would include it here.
Well, it was John. There's about 15 minutes at the top of the climb because I was just fantastic tempo, and then right towards the top, John started kicking. I'm like, let's go. And then John, they went, and then John dropped off, and they all around John's wheel. And I got a gap, and I'm like, this is tailwind.
Yep, just go.
Why not? We only got an hour and 15 minutes to go. Let's go.
Yeah. From the top of Rowena all the way to the end by yourself.
Yeah.
Freaking it.
Awesome. Yeah.
You're a beast. Love it, brother.
Here's a little debrief with Ian Gibson and John Hatfield. Just disregard, Ian is hacking through most of this. He clearly went very deep and irritated his lungs.
So he and I were, I just told him, we got to the top, it was him and me at the front, all the way up Rowena.
Everybody behind you.
But there was a group. I mean, it was a big group. It wasn't just like the two of us.
We were 30 seconds off you. We weren't that far off you.
I figured you weren't. And when we got to the top, we got a little gap actually, right near the top, just the two of us.
So did you just kind of sit up and let him go?
Well, he looked at me and he said, "Let's go," and I said, I tried for about 15 seconds, and then I just said, "No." I told him on the drive out here, I said, you are under clear instructions. Do not wait for me today. Do not wait for me.
Did you see me? Yeah. You see what I did?
Which time? You just about crashed me out.
When?
Really?
Seriously. Before we hit the top of Rowena to drop back down, we were going up a climb, and I looked down and I overlapped your wheel, and literally like,
Oh yeah, that's because my chain dropped.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
all of a sudden, I had to unsnap and I caught myself. What is happening?
Thanks for the gap. Like I had anything to do with it.
Well, I thought you and I, we did have a.
We had a gap. We had a gap, but you don't understand how gassed.
Good job, Tom.
Good job.
Okay, so yes, Dr. Chris Hanel did take first place, and John Hatfield took second place. Well done, you guys, or he was third. Yeah, and this is Kurt Krichko won the 60s. Coach Ian Gibson was second. Gary Cornelius was third. This race for us was only like 32 miles, but 2,700 feet of climbing. And so that's what made it unique. Kind of a lot of climbing for a short thing, but a fantastic race, a very cool course, a gorgeous part of the world. Just super happy this race has come back, and let's hope we keep it for a while. All right, thanks for watching.